LSU, coming off of firing Brian Kelly in a bye week to get their new coaching staff situated, is traveling to fourth-ranked Alabama, who's undefeated in the SEC, riding a 7-game win streak ever since that weird and inexplicable loss to Florida State on the road. This is a 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time game on ABC. It's a rivalry spot between the Tigers of LSU and the Crimson Tide of Alabama. Let's check out LSU and tell a story for them before getting to the Tide. This channel will make you a college football expert and help you enjoy watching games and make more accurate predictions. So what are you waiting for? Like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, comment your thoughts, and watch the video all the way through so that you can get the full package. And check the description and pinned comment for more ways to help yourself and this channel. At the time, I thought that the win over Clemson was going to be huge and propel this team to go, 10-2, maybe 11-1. Never really thought they'd go undefeated or that they were a national championship caliber team. But preseason, I actually had LSU firing Kelly midseason. I did. I had them going 7-5 at different points. Eventually, I think I came off of that, but I had them still going 8-4, 9-3, not reaching the playoffs. And yeah, I mean, talk about this that we're seeing here. Actually, I didn't have them go 9-3. I had them go 8-4. And if they went 8-4, Kelly would have been fired. So talk about here and now. Clemson's horrible. Florida is a corpse. They're probably better now than they were under Napier, honestly, because now they actually have a real offensive play caller. South Carolina's a walking zombie. I don't even know if... Are they alive? Is their zombie self even capable of getting up, or is he just kind of like one of those torso zombies? And then Ole Miss, Vanderbilt, and A&M are the only good teams they played, and I think LSU showed they were a good team by competing with Vandy and Ole Miss, but they were not a great team, and they needed to be a great team to keep Kelly. And when you lose 49-25 to A&M at home, and your stands are empty in the fourth quarter, you're not going to survive at LSU, nor should you. LSU deserved better than Kelly. I imagine they're going to upgrade from him. I'm confident more than anything that Florida, Penn State, and LSU will all upgrade from where they were this year, and probably in the long run too, compared to where they were. Now, they were not exactly in a position to win it all under their current regime, so I'm not saying they will win it all with their future regimes, but I think their odds will be better. This game against Alabama is going to be a tough one, though. The good news is they fired the coach entering the bye, which I think is usually the right move to do, and you get that interim coach boost, especially in a rivalry spot. For Alabama, they have a bye. They were riding since the bye after the Wisconsin game until this game, they were riding a win streak where they beat 4 top 20 teams in a row. All of them are still top 20 in power ratings, by the way. And then they had that close scare against South Carolina that really was unimpressive, but at least they won and didn't lose. Now they get LSU at home, Oklahoma at home, Eastern Illinois at home, and then Auburn is a road game, but Auburn just fired their head coach. So in their November stretch, which preseason I thought would not be extremely tough, but at least give them some fight, they're going to be playing 2 teams with fired head coaches. So it's not going to be the same stretch that it was in October. I'd expect Alabama, if they play to their ceiling, to go 11-1 through this stretch. But are there any concerns for the Crimson Tide? It's a rivalry spot. They're favored by 10.5, 11.5 maybe. Maybe at some places it's even higher than that. I imagine that people are on Alabama here. Though I also know that some are definitely with the interim coaching boost and some of Alabama's roster stuff and LSU's matchups that some could be on LSU too. LSU's defense is ridiculously good, especially at getting to the quarterback and especially at secondary. That matches up well with, I believe, what Alabama wants to do. And then offensively, it's a really bad matchup for LSU. I mean, if you're going to beat Alabama, you do it by running the ball and having a mobile QB. LSU's a statue at QB, and they cannot run the ball to save their life. They're a pass-first offense, and they're not even really good at that because their O-line can't protect. That is a bad matchup. If LSU is going to win here, it is because their defense will put Alabama in a hole in a similar way that South Carolina's defense was able to. But they'll have to probably do better than that given the offense they have. Though South Carolina just fired their OC, and they were able to put up some offense against the Tide. So we'll see about that. For LSU, pay attention to Garrett Nussmeier, Aaron Anderson, and the star tight end who might be the best player on that offense, Trades Green. AJ Halsey, DJ Pickett, and Mansour Delane are players to pay attention to on defense for them. And also look out for Weeks. I imagine he'll be back here after missing Vanderbilt and A&M. And West Weeks and Harold Perkins. Look out for them too. For the Tide, it'll be the Ty Simpson, Germie Bernard, Ryan Williams, and Caden Proctor show. How do they do against this vaunted Blake Baker LSU defense? And for their defense, Deontay Lawson, Bray Hubbard, Keon Sabb, Tim Keenan III. This 4-2-5 swarm defense that Keen Womack commands. They got to the quarterback effectively against Tennessee. They were able to stymie Georgia, especially early on. What will be their plan of attack against an LSU offense that has some weapons, but ultimately is pretty one-dimensional? I am not going to lie when I say that I'm a little bit concerned for Alabama here. Coming off of the bye, it's a rivalry game. You get the interim head coach boost if you're LSU. And I think this defense matches up very well with you and what you want to provide. It matches up phenomenally, I think. And it's not like Alabama has phenomenal special teams either. LSU beats them at kicker. So if this becomes a game where it's all about field position, I think that can benefit LSU. And maybe they figure out the run game a little bit now that their offensive coordinator, Joe Sloan, is, fired. Maybe they get a boost from that because that side of the ball was clearly poorly coached. At the end of the day, however, I think that outside of run defense for LSU, Alabama either has a slight edge or a big edge in all the other categories. Yes, that includes LSU's pass defense. Alabama will do a good enough job protecting Simpson, and they're deep enough at receiver to where I think as the game goes on, as A&M showed a little bit, as Ole Miss was able to show, they'll be able to get some wins, and that will be enough to open up this LSU defense as the game goes on. It'll be hard fought. I think this game will be tied, basically at halftime, and it'll be close in the third quarter. But late third quarter and the fourth, Alabama's going to pull away, and 10.5 isn't large enough for when they do pull away. So I think Alabama will win this game by anywhere from, I would say, 13 to 17 points is what I'm thinking. Not much more than that. It will not be a blowout, but Alabama will win, and Alabama will cover late. This will help the Crimson Tide on their quest to go to the SEC championship game after missing it last year, and also help them lock up their spot in the college football playoff as they, missed that last year, as all of us know. For LSU, you're fighting for pride here. You're fighting for your new staff, your new head coach. You're fighting for the future of Louisiana State University. You're fighting for LSU. If you win this game, you're not going to go to the playoffs probably. You're not going to go to the SEC title game, but a win's a win. This team will be remembered, and this will probably help the players rally around their university. And, LSU is one of those few places still, even post-NIL and transfer portal, where the kids and the men commit there, and they play there, and they coach there because of that LSU logo and because of that L for Louisiana. That's why. So LSU will make it tough. They'll fight hard, but it won't be enough to prevent Alabama from eventually pulling away. Thank you for watching. It's my mission on College Football with Sam to make you the most informed, knowledgeable, and entertained fan as possible. We aren't perfect, but we hit the nail on the head more often than we hit our thumb with the hammer. Make sure to like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, comment, and if you're here, you've probably already watched the whole video. So thank you for doing those things.